What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to show you guys how you can find super strong key levels on your chart that act as really good areas to be looking for trades, whether you're looking for long positions or short positions. And I've been getting asked this question a lot on my channel. I think I've seen like 3 or 4 comments about this, and 3 or 4 people have asked me in the live streams as well. And that question is, Frankie, what the heck is a naked point of control and how can I get them on my chart? So in today's video, I want to talk about what a naked point of control is, why they act as such strong levels of support and resistance, and then I'm going to show you guys how I personally use these in my trading plan to get into some really profitable trades. And of course, I'll show you guys how you can get them on your chart as well for completely free. So guys, before we jump into the charts, I want to talk about just what a naked point of control is. Well, if you guys watch the channel, you know I'm a big advocate for the volume profiles. And within a volume profile, you guys know you have 3 key levels. You have a value area high, a value area low, and a POC, which is essentially just the high of the range, the low of the range, and usually somewhere around the midpoint of the range. But here's the thing. Now, if you don't generally know what a point of control is, I highly recommend you guys go watch my videos on the volume profile and how I use them in my trading plan, because this will explain to you exactly what a point of control is. But for those of you who don't know and don't feel like going back to that old video just yet, I'll just explain it really quickly right here. A point of control is a level that you can find when using a volume profile. Now, the point of control is specifically the level within the volume profile where the most volume was transacted. This makes that point of control a very, very strong level of support or resistance, whether you're below it or above it. And you typically do get strong reactions off of these levels, and they can sometimes act as a magnet. Now, you might still be asking yourself, well, Frankie Candles, what makes it naked? Well, all a naked point of control is a point of control that has not been tapped by price yet, and when this happens, that level is considered naked, right, or untouched. And like I said, these points of control like to act as magnets, so oftentimes when you have a point of control that has not been touched by price, oftentimes you will be looking up or down towards that level, expecting price to eventually get there. And then once you get up there, you know it's a strong level of resistance or support, so you're expecting a reaction. So without further ado, guys, now that we know what a point of control is and what makes a point of control naked, let me jump into the charts and actually show you guys, because that will actually make it make sense to you guys. It's kind of hard just to explain verbally. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts. So guys, if you're familiar with the volume profiles, this will look very familiar to you, and this is a volume profile. All this does is let you know how much volume was traded at an individual price, and when you look at volume profiles like this, typically you have a few different levels. You have the value area high, which is basically the high of your range, and then you have the POC, which is the midpoint of your range, also the area where the most volume was transacted. You could see that represented also on the volume profile by this high volume node. You could see this high volume node, that's what this is called, is extended out to the right more than any of these other ones. So this is the point of control. Simply put, the area where the most volume was transacted, and also the strongest level within your profile. Now also, guys, you have the value area low, which is basically the bottom of your range. So these are the 3 key levels. And again, like I said, whenever you are looking at a volume profile, oftentimes a session volume profile or a periodic volume profile, which analyzes the volume of a given session or day or whatever period you have it set to, this will analyze a certain area of price action, whatever you specify, and once that volume profile closes, if that POC is untouched, it will become naked. Now, let me go ahead and show you guys how to actually get these volume profiles on your chart so you can then extract the naked points of control, which you'll be using to trade off of. So what you're going to want to do is come up to your indicators tab right here, guys. Go ahead and click that, and you can search SVP or session volume profile, or if you wanted to do it the long way, you could simply come down here to technicals, go to profiles, and you can see all the volume profile tools that TradingView offers. But today we're going to be focusing on the session volume profile. So you're going to go ahead and click that once, and you can see here, if you're on the daily time frame, your volume profile is so small you can barely see it, but that's because the session volume profile is set to analyze the volume of each session, and when you're on the daily time frame, you're essentially just looking at each daily candle. But what I like to do here, guys, if you come down to a lower time frame, you can see that each volume profile gets a little bit easier to see, because on a lower time frame, you have a little bit more higher resolution, as I like to call it, and you get to see a little bit more of what's going on within that profile rather than just looking at that daily candle. But what you have to do here, guys, to get these naked points of control on your chart is you're going to want to go ahead and double click anywhere on your profile, and you have to change a few settings. Now, number one, right off the bat, I'm going to start over here on input, and you definitely want to extend your POC to the right. And then you'll see your points of control. Certain ones will actually extend all the way to the right, but you'll also notice that some of them actually don't, right? This one does not extend to the right. This one does not extend to the right, but this one does, and so does this one. These points of control are naked. So let's go ahead and change some more of these settings. Coming on over to style. What I like to do is I personally like to see the value area high and the value area low of each profile. So I usually have those checked. And I also change some of the colors to make it a little bit neater and simpler to look at. But other than that, that's about it on the settings, guys. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And you can see here that we now have these lines extended all the way to the right. These are naked points of control, and oftentimes when these levels are revisited, they can give you some pretty strong reactions, making it a really good place to look for trades. Now, if you come on up to the daily time frame, this is generally how I find daily naked points of control, and you can actually simply see here that this one, it was naked, right, until price came up and tapped it. So I'm going to go into bar replay mode so you guys can actually understand this a little bit better. So price obviously was coming down here, and we had a point of control up here. Let me come to a lower time frame, and you can see we actually had a point of control here that is untapped. Right? Price has not come up and touched this level just yet, so it is naked, and it extends all the way to the right. So what we would be expecting here is when price comes up to revisit this level, we would actually be looking for a short position. Now, these are not just levels that you put on your chart, and then once price gets to that level, you just automatically take the trade. That's not how it works, but these act as not only levels of resistance or support, but also points of interest, because if we are in a bullish trend and we are getting somewhat near any of these naked points of control, we can start to assume that maybe price will get gravitated towards these levels, because remember, POCs like to act as a magnet, as they are the area where the most volume was transacted. There's a lot of interest at this price. So you can see here, not only up there do we have a naked point of control, we have another NPOC out here extended to the right, and then if price comes up, we would be looking for some form of a reaction here. So let's go ahead and move price forward, and I want to just show you guys that when price touches this, it stops extending to the right. So let's go ahead and move our price forward, and you can see as soon as price comes up and crosses these naked points of control, they are now no longer extending to the right, making them no longer naked, or I guess clothed. Anyway, you guys can see here we did get those to stop extending to the right. Now they are no longer naked, and you can see we indeed came up, we tapped those naked points of control, and we got an absolute dump to the downside. This is why I like to look at these levels for areas to look for trades. And you can see this as time goes on. If we continue to the upside, you will see that once you come up and revisit these naked points of control, we would not only expect some kind of a reaction, but you'll see that they are no longer going to extend to the right. And we're moving price forward here, and you can see that we shot up right to those naked points of control. And funny enough, we actually created another naked point of control while we were filling this one. But you can see here we actually tapped this one and it stopped extending to the right. And that was the first MPOC we were looking at. So again, even though we were all the way down here, we knew we had a naked point of control up here that may be looking to get filled, right? So that's why not only are you looking for a reaction up here, but you're also looking for price to potentially get gravitated towards these levels, right? So this would again be where you would be looking for shorts. And you can see, although we did wind up getting a couple of more visits of that naked point of control, or we kind of clung to this level. Remember, I said points of control act as magnets. So I am not surprised that we kind of clung to this level a little bit. But nonetheless, after we came up and hit that naked point of control, we actually wind up getting a big move to the downside. And again, I want to press home, guys. It's not that once this level is touched, you're instantly entering a short position with no other analysis. You can't do that. That's not how trading works. And I think most people watching this understand that, but you can see that it makes it a very big point of interest to start looking for short positions and additional confirmations to look for the actual short. But obviously, guys, you can see, we came up to that key level and we wound up getting a big move to the downside, not only initially, but clearly we wound up getting that big dump afterwards. And this was actually a short setup that we were looking at in my premium Discord, or as I like to call it, the kitchen. We actually did have a short setup given in that Discord from up here, basically from the tippy top. But again, a lot of that had to do with the fact that we had naked points of control up here, and that's why I was looking for a short position. And then you can see we created more NPOCs on the way down. And you can see there's one here, and I'm not going to go ahead and run through them all. Really, I wanted to run through bar replay mode to just show you guys. I think this is kind of what hammers it home for people, right? This is a naked point of control, and as soon as price crosses this, it is no longer naked and it disappears, right? So these are naked points of control, guys. I've gotten so many questions about this. This is how you find them on the chart. And again, what I like to do is have these marked on my actual chart as points of interest. And again, if we come back to our actual current price action that we're seeing right now, one of the reasons why I was actually not only looking for higher prices on Bitcoin once we broke our yearly high, but also a reason why I was looking for a rejection around this area at 36K had a lot to do with a naked point of control. And you can see that right here. We actually had a naked point of control right here. So we were looking in the premium Discord at the lower time frames saying, hey, look, if we wind up getting another move to the upside, we have this very key level up here, which is not only a naked point of control, but it's a weekly naked point of control, making it a potentially even stronger level of resistance. So we were waiting patiently as we were crushing this range that we were trading. We were simply waiting for higher prices to come up and tap this key level so we can get another short setup, which was also given in the premium Discord before we came up there. But you can see right here, we were looking for price to get a move into that weekly naked point of control, put in some potential bearish divergences with some additional confirmations to enter, and we wound up getting a move down. Now, we didn't get a huge move down just yet, but you guys can see we did come up to that level. We got our confirmations and got a beautiful dump to the downside to the tune of about 5%, which is definitely big enough of a move to make a fat bag of profit. And again, these are very, very highly reliable levels, guys. It's not that we're guaranteed to dump every time you hit it. Again, there are confirmations we were looking for up here to actually take the trade, but not only was this able to give us insight into where price was going to go next, but where price was also likely to reject. And if you guys know anything about trading, for us, it's all about setting those key levels, and then that's our trap, and we just wait for price to creep into our trap, wait for the confirmations, and simply take the trade. So we took a look at a couple of bearish examples of the MPOCs giving us a good move to the downside, and I showed you guys exactly how to find these on your charts and how I use them personally as not only points of interest, but also levels to start looking for trades. But I just want to show you, before we hop out of here, guys, I want to show you some bullish examples of MPOCs because I don't want anyone thinking you can only use these for shorts. And I think the best example is actually going to be here as we were getting a dump down to about 25K, where we actually took a pretty fire long position in the premium Discord. But you guys can see we have this daily naked point of control down here at $24,800. So I would simply mark this on my chart, go to my templates, and name it NPOC. So I know when I have my indicator turned off, because I surely don't like all these levels living on my chart at one time. So I simply know not only at this point, as we are very close to this level, is it likely to come down here because that POC is going to act as a magnet, but I know that it's very likely to get a strong reaction to the upside off this level. So once we get down there, that is where I'm going to be looking for some long positions. And what happens is we come straight down there, and what happens after that, we get an absolute moonshot to the upside, and you guys can see that we even got a revisit of this naked point of control. So these don't just completely become irrelevant after they're tapped. However, they are stronger in my opinion when they're naked, but you can see that not only did we get that big reaction back here off that naked point of control, but that level actually remained relevant as we came back down to revisit it here in September. And this is actually where I was looking to get into a long position, and this NPOC did have a partial impact on why I was looking to go long here. And you could see we came down, almost perfectly tapped that naked point of control. We were able to get into my long position with the premium Discord, and obviously, guys, we had this naked point of control up here at 35.7, which wasn't originally the target, but once we got closer, it gave us the indication that we may want to hold the trade in case that level got tapped. And obviously, guys, once again, we got an absolutely insane reaction off that naked point of control after a little bit of bing-bonging around, and then we wound up getting the bigger move to the upside, eventually getting all the way up to that 36K level where we may, no guarantees, but we may wind up getting another reaction to the downside. And I'm actually still in this trade, guys, locked in profits. I'm still up massively in unrealized profit, and I'm going to hold this in anticipation of a tap of some other NPOCs that we have a little bit closer to $39,000. Now, the session volume profile, like I said, is not the only way that you can find these naked points of control. You can also use something such as exo charts, where you can see we actually right now have some naked points of control down here, close to about $34,500, which may be an area that we might want to keep our eye on in case we wind up getting a push to the downside. But you could find these on exo charts as well as TradingView. I just know that a lot of people don't have a lot of money to shell out for exo charts, so I like to show you guys how to find these for completely free on TradingView. So guys, I think that's all the time I got for today's video. I've just been getting asked these questions a lot on the channel, in the comments, and in the live streams, and a lot of people just want to know where I'm getting these NPOCs from. So there you go. I think I've actually made a tutorial video about this before, but I wanted to make a little bit of an updated one, especially because that long trade that we're in from the bottom of the previous range is so much in profit, and that NPOC did have a part to play in that. So go hit the charts, guys. Go use that session volume profile, extend those POCs to the right, and go find those naked points of control. Sit on your hands, wait for price to hit that trap, and then look for your confirmations, and hopefully you could get into some super profitable trades. So with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for this video. I hope you guys found this useful. If you did, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. And with all that being said, that's all the time I got for this video. See you in the next one. Frankie Candles out.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand.